Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Alabama Gang 80 here at the Talladega Super Speedway. In the booth with me is Josh Kiwis. I am Christopher Kiwis, but Josh is not here right now. He is currently on his way back from his job. He was late getting off, had to help somebody, so he is currently on his way here. He should be here in about 5 to 10 minutes, so we'll get Josh in here as soon as we can. But we're going to go ahead and hop on board with your uh, with your drivers, as I was hearing a couple of things in the background, making sure Josh wasn't about to hop in here. I don't hear him just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get on board with that Bill Hell's machine. I'm trying to get the camera here going. Is it not working with me? There we go. All right, in that first position is that 53 of Bill Hell's. In that second position, it's going to be Adam Taylor. And that 45 machine, Robbie Bice, going to be in that top three. Robbie Bice setting that third place position. Good qualify there, Robbie. Kip Easley, your second place winner last week, going to be in that fourth position. Your race winner, Kim Baum Jr. of last week, in that fifth spot. Joshua Sushi in sixth position. Carson Pittman in seventh. Ryan Broderick in eighth. Lucas Nilges in ninth. Steve Stripmatter in that 10th position, as Shane Weldon Sr. is going to be in that 11th position. Chad Engel going to be in the 12th position, as everybody's starting to get starting to move here, so the cars are going to go a little crazy, but we're going to get it under control. Brian Pressler going to be in that 13th position. Jason Hand in that 14th position. Patrick Genscher in that 15th spot. Daniel Holdcroft in that 16th spot. You got David Smill Jr. in that 17th spot, with Brody Green in that 18th position. 19th is Nick Cannon in that 19th position, with Kevin Click in that 20th spot. Chris Lynn in that 21st position, with Michael Zuver in 22nd. And then everybody's just kind of getting a little crazy, so we're going to go ahead and just name off everybody else that we see here. So it looks like Michael Zuver going to be in that 22nd spot. Kyler McCarthy in 23rd. Briggs Swope 24th. Jeremy Zarfos 25th. Don DeGroot 26th. Jaden Bingaman in that 26th spot. William Brown 28th. Charles Garrick in 29th. Dylan Hastings 30th. Matthew Fitz 31st. 32nd is George Wood. And in that 33rd position is Jimmy Barr. So we're going to have an interesting race here tonight. This is going to be, Talladega is one of those tracks that it can really make or break you really early on. So we're going to have to see what is going on with these cars, see if they can get into the draft and, hold on to that draft, so that way they're not getting left behind, because we do know that Talladega is one of those tracks that if you get out of the draft, you're pretty much shot yourself in the foot. So we'll see how these boys handle it here going into turn one, as we're getting ready to go to the the green flag. And the green flag is out. We are underway here at the Alabama Gang 80. See, Bill Hell's getting out to a pretty good jump there in that first position, but that 45 of Adam Taylor, he's going to be on that outside lane, still holding on. Robbie Bice in that third position. Going to shuffle himself back just a little bit, fall back. Whoa, as you see Adam Taylor going to move down into that first position. Go ahead and shut that momentum off. Just take that bottom lane as that outside lane starting to pick up. You see Joshua Sushi in that 81 starting to already move on that outside lane. It looks like everybody's just pretty much, it looks like a little wobbling back there, but it looks like everybody's just going to stay in that same position that they started in. A couple of drivers getting into a couple of different positions, but looks like right now everybody's just pretty much trying to hold on to what they've got. As lap number one is complete, it looks like Kip Easley in that 8 machine going to go ahead and secure that first lead lap of the race. on that outside lane with that 81 of Joshua Susi all over the back bumper. You see the inside lane not really working all too well, but that outside lane is really linked up. As you see, the 8 machine, the 8 and the 81 of Kip Easley and Joshua Susi starting to get a little out in front of everybody, but that momentum is going to start falling off as you see the 45 of Adam Taylor on that inside lane. As I hear Josh starting to make his way into the booth, so he should be here in just a moment. But man, Joshua Susi, oh, they're getting a little low on that inside lane. But it looks like Susi, he's going to try to poke his nose out there, see if he can get a little bit of momentum, see if he can get that 5 machine of Ryan Broderick to help push him out there. But it looks like he's just going to tuck back in behind that 8 machine. Let's see if they try to get up here and start getting a little testy, or if they're just going to, stay like they did the last 2. Whoa, as it looks like in the back, a couple of cars getting a little loose back there. But it looks like we're just going to keep it side by side here, single. Well, I say single file, but 2 by 2, and we're going to keep racing. As lap number 4 is complete, Kip Easley still out in the lead. So 45 of Chad Eagle going to still hang that inside lane. Excuse me, Adam Taylor. I was looking at the wrong name there. Adam Taylor going to hang that inside lane. But it looks like Kip Easley going to hang that outside lane. Whoa. Yes, Josh is now in the booth. Yeah, Josh, big move there from the 5 of Ryan Broderick. You're going to take that inside lane.
Do apologize to our Full Throttle fans for the late entry. Got caught up at work helping somebody work on a car, so had to stay a little late. But now we're here, and we're watching some awesome Talladega racing. It seems like already, Chris, is big move from Broderick, as that 45 of Adam Taylor going to give him a big shot to the back bumper. But that outside lane, Chris, right now seems to be the lane to run. We've seen it in the real life cars. We've seen it pretty much on the platform a lot. 3 wide is the big thing. But obviously here in these long runs, it seems like that outside lane at Talladega here recently, Chris, almost a throwback to the Gen 4 days. But this outside lane is really becoming dominant again, if you notice, on these super speedways with these generation of cars. So I think this outside lane is going to bring it back to us here, as you see them really working together there. And Kip Easley right now looking very strong, Chris. Looks like he might have the car to really go up here and dominate this race, or command this race, we should say. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We are only at lap 5 here at Talladega, and everybody knows within a matter of seconds it could all be over. So we'll keep them rolling here. We'll keep it green. But man, there's a little bit of racing going down there. Looks like Adam Taylor, 5 of Ryan Broderick, might have got a little bit of a bad bump. They were starting to get all wiggly. But so far, Chris, so good. 6 laps complete about almost here at Talladega as they come down the front stretch and take the line. So far, it's 2 wide, and like we said, that inside lane slowly starting to look like it's losing a little bit of its coordination there. Yeah, but if you notice, Josh, a lot of these drivers not keeping it tucked up, not keeping it, up against that back bumper. We're seeing a lot of, as our dad would say, a lot of weaving baskets going on back there. A lot of the left and right sawing on the wheel. They're not, that inside lane's just not staying linked up. That outside lane with, Kip Easley and Joshua Susi, they're bumper to bumper, so they're able to just run away with all the momentum, while these guys are down here, losing all the momentum, by doing what every time Taylor and Broderick links up. Look at that. Broderick on the apron. This isn't good, Chris. This isn't good. It looks like Adam Taylor's going to try to let him file back in. Oh, that's sketchy if you're Broderick. Yeah, this is sketchy for Broderick.
Yeah,
there's really nothing he can do in this. Oh, this is going to be sketchy entrance back into the track. He is still running 179 on the apron, Chris. What is this man made of?
He is still running.
Turn 1 and 2 on the apron. What a save. You can't help it there. That's not Ryan Broderick's fault. Took maybe an uneven push from Adam Taylor. It seems like him and Adam weren't working too well together, but man, overall, excellent save there from Broderick. You know how easily that could have went south, Chris.
Yeah, and especially if you hit that little, you see that yellow line, there's a crack in the middle of that yellow line, and you don't understand, you're like, oh, it's the yellow line. But if you hit that yellow line just with the edge of the wheel, it'll shoot your car to the right. And the next thing you know, you're in the wall.
Yeah, it's one of those things, Chris. On the banking, it's so much flatter than the actual corner. So it's like, even though not Daytona, excuse me, Talladega's banking has more banking than a lot of tracks, or apron has a lot of banking than more tracks, but that apron coming up onto the track, it's a little bit of like a, think of, when you're driving on the interstate and they cut the road and you got that uneven road, when you go to merge up, you kind of hop up, almost the same way, not necessarily, it's not like there's a lip on the track, but it almost gives the car that same feeling, snaps it loose, can get it really out of control. So I know we're kind of talking about that Ryan Broderick save, but man, that was definitely some good hands-on driving to be able to keep that car not only on the apron, but pretty much full speed the whole time. I mean, it's not like he fell, off the pace a lot. He's only a second and a half, but as we see, Susie and Easley, they're starting to work together here hard as they're going to get a big push. They might separate themselves from the pack here a little bit, which could be dangerous because, as soon as you get in that two-car tandem, 7 cars could be a little bit better than 2, but we'll see how they're going to link up here and if they'll keep working. But right now, it looks like it's so far going to be Kip Easley, Josh Susie, going to be your 1-2 combo. As soon as I say that, though, Jason Hand's going to peek his nose in on the bottom of the screen there and say, not so fast, buddy. I'm trying to get me up here and get up here in this lead. I mean, these guys on this inside lane have really been working hard. It looks like that Shane Weldon machine, I want to say, is that car on the inside overtook that 45 of Adam Taylor's. Taylor was running second originally, or second on that inside lane. Now he's been pushed back to that 3rd spot, but Chris, it looks like Jason Hand and Shane Weldon here might be linking up. They're going to go take a, I was about to say that. I thought that sushi machine was about to come on, but looks like they are going to try to get a run here on this inside lane, Chris, and this could be what that inside lane, just 2 drivers like Hand and Weldon linking up, can really change and make dividends for that inside lane here.
Yeah, but we are 3 wide in the back, Josh. A lot of racing going on back here in the back as we see David Smill Jr. He's pretty much in the smack dab in the middle of, excuse me, it wasn't him. Whoa, there's a little bit of contact there. It looks like Brick Swope might have got into the wall going down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looks like that Bucky's machine as well might have taken a little bit of hit with that outside wall.
I want to say it was the 91 that I was talking about that was in the middle, Brody Green, in the middle of all of that. It was 3 wide, pretty much had everybody all around him, and that was a position that I wouldn't want to have been in. But yeah, Josh, we're going to go back up here in the front as you see, it looks like Don DeGroot going to take the outside lane, just going to go ahead and give up that position. But whoa, look at that, 24, Kyler McCarthy down to the bottom lane. He said, all right, man, we're getting ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we got a lot of Chevys up here in the front. The Chevys seem fast here so far right now, which sometimes can be, Chevy Fords on these super speedways are super tough. We know Tyler Reddick won here in the real race, but in these sims, man, when you got a teammate behind you, you got a car that can link up with you, or anybody just in the same manufacturer, you link up, you can roll to the front here. So good to see all the Chevys really working together. I mean, a majority of our field is the Chevy bow tie, but still, a lot of manufacturers working together here, and really just trying to get themselves some good running points here. Is if you lead a lap at Talladega, it almost feels solid once you get up there and just lead 1 lap. It's like, hey, I feel like we've won this race. I mean, Talladega can be so difficult to get to the front. So to see these guys on the inside lane battling and battling and battling, it looks like Strip Matter is going to get a little bit out of, oh, this could be trouble if those 2 cars are unlinked, but it looks like so far so good. And they're going to roll it out of turn 2 down the back straightaway, down the Allison back stretch. Or the Alabama Gang backstretch, one of the 2. I can't remember which one it is called now, Chris. Oh my goodness, why am I forgetting that?
Yeah, Josh, as it being our home track, you think you would know.
Yeah, I should, but, as we'll watch this race unfold here, 12 laps down, they're coming to lap number 13. Chris, what I'm interested to see tonight is if we do stay green, which cautions are expected to happen here at Talladega. Any moment, chaos can just unfold. But, if we do stay green, Chris, here, pit strategy is one of the most important things on super speedway racing. I'm very excited to see how these drivers are going to try to manage. We saw some really good pit strategies here these past couple weeks. I'm excited to see this week. Well, I say pit strategies at Martinsville. I don't think there was any there.
Big push for Pittman.
Big push coming from this inside lane. This inside lane should take the lead here as the 27 of David Schmills Jr. Should roll past as that inside lane is linked up, Chris. Carson Pittman, that 27 of David Schmills Jr., and that 24 of Kyler McCarthy, all rolling here trying to make this lead up. As it looks like they will take the lead. That 27 of David Schmills Jr. will be your new leader here coming to lap number 14 unless Carson Pittman tries to step out of the outside or this inside lane, maybe deforms, but looks like they were about to get a little, man.
Ooh, I don't like that.
That's what I had to say.
That was looking
You
a
know,
little sketchy.
in the car it doesn't feel as sketchy, but when you're watching it from out here, we see everything. In the car, you don't really notice that you're about to de-link or wreck somebody sometimes until it actually happens. So for these guys, it's just eyes in front of you and hope to goodness you don't tear the back bumper off. So, big move there on the back of the pack. Not sure who that was. So it looks like it was one of those white cars there on the inside lane at the tail end. Not sure who. That could have been the 25, I think is who it was.
It looks
Kevin
like,
Click.
no, I think it was, not sure.
Yeah,
Not
not
really
sure. As you see this pack back here, that's Nick Cannon, Charles Gurrick, Matthew Fitz, Dylan Hastings, and Daniel Holdcroft is those 4 drivers. You know what they're doing, Chris? Let's just stay alive.
Yeah, let's just stay alive. It's pretty much what they're doing right now. They're just like, hey, we're gonna kind of cruise back here in the back. We're not gonna get up here and push the issue because you see, whoa, look at that, Ken Baum on that inside lane. Excuse me, David Smill on that inside lane. You see him getting on that yellow line. It looks like he got a little loose down there.
I'm not trying to say this in a way of I don't think Talladega's a great track, because I think Talladega is an awesome track.
Oh, big push from 24.
I was about to say 24 got a little bit sketchy there on the pushing, but Talladega is one of those tracks, Chris, that the race doesn't pretty much matter until the last 20. Not saying that the racing here isn't amazing. I could watch 1,000 laps of Talladega in one night if I had to, but it's just one of those things of the race genuinely comes down to who has no damage, who has the best pit strategy sometimes, or who's just out there and still running. So, I mean, anything can happen here. Smart play from those guys hanging out in the back. But let's just hope it doesn't get them caught up and getting lapped or anything like that. But with the way these guys are racing up here, Chris, it could come into fruition for them. Or, it could work out for them, I should say, staying back there and really just not pushing the issue, like you said.
Yeah, you saw Kyler McCarthy getting a little loose on that inside lane, probably getting a little bad air. We do know when you're 3-4 cars back in this pack, it's like I always try to explain. Imagine riding behind a diesel. That's the best way to explain, how it feels, when you're racing in this, in NASCAR. When you're racing or you're riding behind that diesel, you can feel the wind.
Whoa, contact! That's Bingaman, right?
Yeah, that was
Jaden Bingaman. Street strip matter. It's going to make us 3 wide, Chris, going in here into turn 1. We could see some action here. I don't think we are. This inside lane, 2 inside lanes, so that Jaden Bingaman machine should blow past it. But, Chris, this is going to stack up that outside lane just a little bit. As speaking of, we are getting all sorts of movement. That was the number 27 of David Smill Jr., who was earlier your leader just a couple laps ago. He's moved himself up into that 3rd position in the outside lane. So it just goes to show you, just because you got a fast race car for 1 lap doesn't mean you're going to be up there running every lead lap here at Talladega. It's one of those tracks that you got to rely a lot on the back bumper, what's coming to you, than what's happening in front of you sometimes. So we'll see how it goes for these drivers really trying to get up here and run. But so far, so good for the Candyman, Chris. Kip Easley has pretty much led every lap of this joint so far today. And that Candyman number 8, he's got to be rolling pretty happy right now.
Yeah, and Josh, as we're talking about that, Patrick Enter in that 6 machine, I just saw him come out of nowhere. I just saw him dip down into that bottom lane, and the next thing I know, that 6 machine was just there. So he's poking his head up from that from 9 positions back is that 6 of Patrick Enter, and I was see Jaden Bingaman also up 22 positions. Kyler McCarthy up 19, David Smill up 14. So a lot of drivers moving their way up. But as we see, Josh, they get down into that bottom lane, and then it just falls away. He was up there right next to David Smill Jr., and now he's all the way back there in 7th position. So that just goes to show that if you're not in that draft, you can lose a lot of time on the track.
Chris, one thing I do have to say, since it was a minute we stepped away from the sim and came back, Full Throttle offered us to come back, wanted to bring us back into the booth. So it was one of those things that it was like, man, I was excited to see the racing, but I did not expect to see the in-sim racing. I'll say the in-sim racing changed so much. I mean, we'll use a video game term here, but the meta of the race seems, hey, just use that outside lane and let's keep some momentum going, Chris. Gen 6, Gen 4, whatever it may be we race on the platform, always seems to be 2 wide, 3 wide. For some reason now, these Gen 7 cars just seem like they cannot get too wide on that inside lane without getting really loose or just getting all out of sorts. This outside lane seems to be very, very dominant, and as I'm going to use the word meta again, has really seemed to shift to these cars since the last time we personally raced and, spectated a race here at Talladega in these exact cars.
Right. You are correct. I've definitely raced a lot of races here in the Xfinity cars. I've raced a lot of races here in the Gen 4 cars. the 87 cars. I've done a lot of races at Talladega. Most of the time you run the inside lane, but Josh, like I was saying, if you notice that outside lane though, they are staying bumper to bumper pretty much the entire time. And if you watch that inside lane, there, you're getting a little, wishy-washy. Nobody's staying tucked up to each other. They're not keeping the momentum up like the outside lane is.
And I was gonna say wouldn't say it was necessarily just the car causing that. It's definitely the commitment from that inside lane. But Chris, you even remember the Gen 6 cars, you didn't have to be door tucking up to people to be running up in the lead pack on that inside lane. So it's one of those things. It's definitely, I'm not too sure with it. Haven't had turned too many laps in the current version of this Gen, this Gen 7 car. So it's one of those things that new to me. It's not sure if it's something to have to do with aero, if it's something to do with the cars just get, that inside lane can get that super wobbly feel on the feeling, and you see those drivers jerking the wheel around and think, why are they making such sudden moves? I mean, it's not necessarily their fault. Sometimes the air just gets sucked off the nose, gets sucked off the rear of the car. I mean, you see these drivers are pretty much bumper to bumper, door to door, 200 miles an hour. Anything can happen.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm seeing a lot of, I'm watching the ticker here, but I'm also seeing a lot of wishy-washy going on. I hate to use that term, but it's the best way to explain it. You just see, not a lot of commitment in the steering wheel. They're not wanting to hold it steady. You see a lot of, going left and right. There's not a lot of comfortable, not being comfortable behind the wheel. Whoa, is Patrick Ginter giving a big push there to Jaden Bingaman getting a little loose?
It'll be called the Talladega line dance. I mean, that's just what it's got to be. These cars are scooting, dancing, freaking out right now. I mean, oh my goodness, Charles Gurrick just got low on that apron. That could have been scary. It seems like he's just going to try to get back up here and relink to this Jaden Bingaman machine, but man, peeking his nose, not seeing anything out in front of him that he likes. I mean, maybe trying to get some air on the nose of that race car, not sure, but seeing some big moves coming from that inside lane. It just seems like every handful of laps, Chris, that inside lane is getting less and less numbers. And this outside lane is becoming the lane to be dominant in. Because you got to be on that mindset if you're in the inside lane. I mean, I'm working my butt off here in this 26 machine. And no matter what I do, it just seems like nobody is able to, really link up, commit, and try to get up there. But in this outside lane, they are putting the beans down. I would like to see anybody in this outside lane, though, going to try to jump to the inside. I mean, we know Schmill Jr., McCarthy, and Pittman were all on the inside lane at one point. All have been hanging out in that outside lane ever since Schmill gave the lead back up to Kip Easley. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get any racing right now, but I'm looking already forward to those last couple laps. Seeing how the runs are working, it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers are going to try to set up possibly a white flag finish or whatever it may be, because so far, Chris, this is looking like one of the most extremely difficult Talladega races I've ever seen to pass.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is definitely one of the hardest, to pass. Like you were saying, wondering who's going to go to that inside lane. If it was me, I honestly would stay on that outside lane. If
for sure.
If I'm, if I'm the 24 of Kyler McCarthy, I've seen 6-7 cars dive down to the inside lane now. Why would I go to the inside lane? Because they're already 4 or 5 cars behind me. So it's like I would stay to that outside lane because it looks like right now that it is linked up. That middle lane is just it's hooked up and cooking beans.
And if you're thinking, oh, why is the inside lane not linked up car to car to car? Because, you can't really link up. The only person that can push is that second car. The third car can push this pusher, but everybody knows, do not push the pusher unless it's white flag. I mean, you don't want to get yourself caught up in one of those situations of, I got the guy in front of me loose, and then he got the guy in front of him loose, and then we cause the big one at Talladega. I mean, it can happen just off of one single bad push. So that's really what I'm seeing here, Chris, is this inside lane is trying their hardest. I mean, Strip Matter has been all over the back bumper of Ginter here for the last couple laps, and no progress. I mean, they have fallen all the way back. They're running exactly in line with that 6th place position of Jaden Bingaman. So it's one of those things, that inside lane just not really showing too much of promise right now. But as this race goes, I seriously can't see that inside lane not becoming a factor. I think what you're seeing right now is what you were saying, Chris. These drivers are just trying to hang out, trying to survive, and not trying to put themselves in any unnecessary risk. And if that's the case, then I got a big hats off to the drivers. But if I'm just giving them, false applause, and I'm taking those back, we don't give handouts for free, so.
Yeah, Josh, like we were saying, you've seen Joshua Susi the whole time. He has been all over the back bumper of Kip Easley. The entire time he's been behind Kip Easley, he has been on that back bumper like he is duct taped to it. like he
I was
is,
about to say.
like he is supposed to be a part of that car, like he's towing him,
I was
and
gonna say
that's
they might need to change the number of Susie to the number 8 car. They got the number 16 right there. I mean, they are linked together so much. They're pretty much one car.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's how it's been the entire race, But you see back behind them, everybody is just pretty much trying to stay in line, trying to stay alive. Because if you've never raced in the sim and if you've never raced, at Talladega or in a league race or even an open race, open fixed, Talladega is one of these tracks that you don't get in there and expect to finish. It's you expect to get wrecked out maybe first lap, maybe 20th lap, maybe 40th lap. But, there's always going to be a big one. And, even in the real races, you always have those big ones. And it's unavoidable. And it's wondering when is it going to happen, because right now everybody's being really tame. I am very surprised at how tame everybody is right now.
I was gonna say it's definitely one of those things that you're not used to seeing in a race at Talladega. Usually everybody's ready to fire the trigger and go. I mean, Talladega is one of those tracks. It's when you set your cruise control to 45 and you're cruising in traffic, thinking I'm just gonna be a good citizen today, and then you get behind that one person going 3 under the speed limit. You throw the blinker on and you whip out. That's usually how these races at Talladega go. You think, okay, I'm going in here. I'm gonna be the best driver I can be, best version of myself. So when it comes to patience, 10 laps into it, you've already hit the wall because you shot the outside lane trying to get the bump drafted, take the slingshot run or whatever it may be, and next thing you know, you're sitting in the infield care center. So I mean, it can be one of those things at Talladega. But right now, Chris, you've really said it. This is a very, very patient group of guys right now. It seems like
is we're just gonna kind of single back or kind of fall back here through the field. Is right now this is your gap between the front pack and the rear pack. Charles Garrick, Nick Cannon, Matthew Fitz, Dylan Hastings, and Daniel Holdcrofter all kind of hanging back here in the back, just not wanting to be a part of that front pack because, like we said, they've probably already expected a wreck or two to happen. That back pack is already expecting a caution.
And I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, Chris. This is just any Talladega race, no matter if it was pros racing. At this point, you sometimes do expect that big one to already happen. I mean, heck, we've seen Talladega races go where the first 10 laps knocked out the best cars in the field all the way back to 25th. So it can happen. I don't think it's going to happen, though, right now. I'm not going to knock on what I meant to say. I meant to say I'm not going to try to jinx them, knock on wood, but we'll see how they go so far. But right now, I mean, I don't see any issues with this lead pack. I think they're doing an excellent job trying to stay patient. We've seen some drivers hop up, obviously in a line when they see a run or a spot that they can go to. You're going to do something like that. But, hey, we haven't seen any really much controversy, Chris. Not even, a solo spinner or something in the back or somebody getting dumped off out of the corner. I mean, nothing like that. So far, so good for the drivers out here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, and if we were, you were watching the race this past weekend at Talladega, you saw how bad those tires were getting eat up. I want to say, I remember, I can't remember who it was actually, but I remember they brought them into the pits and they were showing cord and they were like, oh, the tires aren't that bad. I'm like, hey, they're showing cord. That is bad. So, that's one of those things that these tires can start getting worn down, and, the next thing you know, your right rear is down to 60%. And you're trying to hold on to the rear end of the car, and you've got somebody behind you pushing you at 195 miles an hour.
I couldn't understand why tires would wear at a track like Talladega, man. Shoot.
Yeah, it's not
I couldn't understand how they would dig it. They're only going left. I mean, come on, bro.
But hey,
I just want to know what it's like one time, Chris, to feel the G-forces going through the corner. I don't even got to drive. They can put me in one of those passenger cars and let, Junior take me out or something.
Well, I was going to say,
feel that feeling of just going in the corner thinking, hey, we're flying out that catch fencing and just, nope, we're riding, baby.
I was going to say, Junior said it best. He said he was looking down that backstretch and he was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this.
A blink there from Susie.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how I'm going to make this corner. And then the next thing he knows, he's sucked down into the seat and he's making the corner. That's got to be one of those. That's got to be one of those crazy feelings. Oh, look at this, Josh. The inside lane's starting to get a massive run.
Finally, they're starting to build up some momentum here on this inside lane. And when I say finally, I mean it. Were they just holding the gas pedal at 75%? What's going on? Ginter, he's making a big pass here, almost possibly for the lead, as they should clear him from the tri-oval. This inside lane sometimes usually fast, but we know coming back out of this exit of the tri-oval, Chris, that outside lane is wicked fast. And yeah, Kip Beasley will be scored as your leader for lap number 31, but coming here on lap 32, it could be Patrick Ginter if this inside lane gets a little bit of help here down this back straightaway, and we could possibly see a new leader going off into turn 3.
Yeah, as I see a couple of cars up in front of him. That's going to be William Brown, I want to say, or it might be Brody Green, George Wood, Michael Zuver. I know there are a few cars up there in front of them, but they are slowly starting to catch that lap traffic. So we'll see how that handles out. I do see William Brown is a lap down, so looks like William Brown not having a good night here tonight. Unfortunate for that 9 machine. But we're going to keep rolling up here with the front. Looks like that inside lane, Josh, just started falling off again. Not able to keep it going.
Yeah, it's like they had one moment. They started flexing. They were showing their guns, letting everybody know.
Whoa, look at this.
Whoa.
Kip Easley to the inside lane. I think he might have had a bad push. He might have had a bad push and didn't like it.
He had to have gotten unlinked. There's no way. I mean, he's going slow right now. He was only going 184, so yeah, he definitely had to lift or something. Oh, my computer just completely green screened. Oh, we're back.
Still good.
Whoa. I thought they were going to get this inside lane is building momentum now, Chris.
Yeah, we've only got 5 cars on the outside lane. The inside lane has got pretty much all the cars now. So this is where the inside lane should start picking up.
Hate this if you're Carson Pittman. He got barely delinked from those front 3 cars, and he is just oh, never mind. Pit, that's why everybody jumped to the inside lane. We got pit cycles. Why didn't I even think about that? Got so interested in the race and forgot. Man, we're already 33 laps in this joint. Whoa.
Ryan Broderick.
Did he miss pit road?
Looks like he might have missed pit road.
We won't get the notification back. If you want to roll back, did anybody actually come down? I'm not seeing anybody in pits for me.
So it looks
My
like
timing is not showing pits.
Oh, it looks like a bad bump.
Oh, he got bumped and almost went. Okay, so I saw that car coming down pit road. I thought, excuse me, we don't have pits.
Ooh, good save.
Whoa, and Jason Hand able to get by. Wicked save from Broderick, man. But gosh, you hate it for him. That's two situations tonight where Brian Broderick has just absolutely had to save the race car. Was running all the way up there in the inside lane at the lead of the inside lane at one point, and took one bad push from that 45 Adam Taylor at around lap 7, lap 8. It's pretty much been good night nurse from that run for him so far, but do have some, pit cycles, possibly a caution. Could save that number 5 of Ryan Broderick tonight.
Yeah, Ryan Broderick did get lucky on that, though, man. I'm going to say that was a good save from that 5 machine. Most people there would have already been on that inside wall or taken out half the field. That 5 machine able to keep it underneath him. That was a good save.
I will say if I just stop talking and disappear, it might be because my computer crashed. I don't know. I keep getting a green screen over my computer, which is very unusual. Chris told me it keeps green screening. So if I do crash, I apologize, and I will be back ASAP. But I'm just letting you know, if you hear me cut out, that's why. My computer, you can thank it. I don't know why. It's a good computer. It's just I don't think it can handle this wickedness right now, Chris. It's going down at Talladega.
Yeah, is Josh Rasucci gonna go ahead and take lap 35 in the lead? As you see behind him, everybody now is just pretty much filed out. Yeah, they've just filed out single file. They're like, all right, man, maybe it was getting a little too testy. They were, they didn't like what they were seeing, and now they've started to file in single file. But this is gonna spell trouble for everybody up in front of him. I'm gonna go up here and look. Yeah, that is the 91 of Brody Green, the 68 of George Wood, 96 of Michael Zuver, and the 5 of Ryan Broderick actually is not with that group. So that is going to be that group right there. And I want to say also the 9 of William Brown, he is in that mix. So those are currently the drivers that Josh Rasucci and everybody are catching.
There is pit cycles coming in. Lap 36 out of 94, we have drivers down pit road, Chris. And it's going to be Joshua Susi in first. You see that 27 of Davis Mill Jr. behind him. Then that's, Kyler McCarthy, Chad Engel, Jaden Bingaman, Don DeGroot, Dylan Hastings, and Daniel Holdcroft all down pit road. But I'm excited to see, Chris, because you know how these pit cycles go. You have one bad hiccup, one driver getting out of link, and it could spell disaster for your race. So we'll just have to see. You just saw that. I'm not sure who that was. Mrs. Pit stall just a little bit and had to back up. Just that little bit of 2 seconds, 1 second time of loss can absolutely kill his run here tonight. So if you're coming off pit road here, you better hope you're getting linked back up with this group if you had a mess up, because it can be disaster for your night if you don't get out with the group you pit in, especially in a small 4 or 5 car group like that. But it looks like we're going to have a couple drivers stay out. Kevin Click, Carson Pittman, Patrick Ginter, Shane Weldon, and a couple other cars going to stay out. But coming down pit road right now is Chris Lynn, Kip Easley, that oh, we got a car spinning in the pit road. I just heard tires spinning in the pit road. Might have been Briggs Swope. Oh, it's Pressler. Brian Pressler. That's going to give him a black flag for coming in pit roads like that. Unless he spun after he went to the commitment line.
We'll back it up here just for a second and see if we can see what happened.
Like after the commitment
yeah,
line.
just
downshifted right there one time to. Oh nope, he didn't hit the commitment cone, so that's going to be a black flag, correct?
It should be.
He technically did hit the commitment cone, but I think that might be a black flag for that machine. Which you hate to see it, but that's what happens when you click down just a half a second too early. It can spin those rears up. And that's what we're talking about. One of those hiccups on pit road can absolutely end your night at a track like Talladega. That is what just ultimately stinks about a track like this. I mean, at a track like Bristol, track like a 1.5 mile, that small little hiccup on pit road, you can build back from. But a track like Talladega, you get 1 second off of a driver, your night can be over. You've lost the draft. You've lost all speed. You might as well just Sunday cruise by yourself because that's what it's going to be. And the only time you're going to get some passes is when you're getting passed, when you have to go all the way to the outside lane and everybody comes blowing by you. Because that's going to be the only time you're getting passing opportunities. So just have to see how everybody's going to deal with it right now. But Chris, this big single file lane should be coming down pit road here within the next few laps, if not this lap.
Yeah.
You see everybody coming down. We'll see if we got some virtual hand waves and some throwing it down into pit road here.
Yes, Charles Garrick, Nick Cannon, Matthew Fitz, Jason Hand currently on their way out of pit lane. We'll see who else comes down. It looks like Kevin. Jeremy Zarfo's down. Whoa, they are going.
It's going to be that 25 that pitted. I was about to say that's not good, but does have some of his Ford friends pit, 2 Toyotas. So this group will be able to. Jeremy Zarfos is going to get caught up there by Lucas Nilges, but he's still going to get into his pit stall.
So Kevin,
relatively unharmed. Lucas
Nilges, Ken Baum Jr., Kevin Click, Jeremy Zarfos, and Jimmy Barr all down pit lane. So right now, Carson Pittman still is your race leader. Patrick Ginter in that 6th machine right behind him. Shane Weldon Sr. in that 3rd position. Adam Taylor in 4th. Bill Hales in 5th. And Robbie Bice in that 6th position. So good to see that Davey Allison 28 machine
Chris,
in 6th position.
I was about to say, we might not agree on football colleges. But hell, if we agree on a damn good-looking race car, that's a nice slick machine out there that Robbie's driving.
It's down pit lane. Carson Pittman, Patrick Ginter, Shane Weldon, Adam Taylor, Bill Hells, and Robbie Bice all down pit lane. So your leaders are going to be coming down pit lane. But look at this, Josh. Kevin Click, Ken Baum Jr., they are currently out of pit lane. But look at that, Josh. Josh Rasusi, Kyler McCarthy, and Jaden Bingaman all on that back bumper. So this should be your race leader.
That's good for the 25 in them, though. They are going to get back up to speed pretty quick. They just shot the gap, and they got another line coming up there. So they should be able to catch some speed here pretty quick. And, hey, good pit stop from Kevin Click and Kip Easley if they can make it work. Or was that Kip Easley? Excuse me. I'm not sure who that was. Ken Baum Jr., I think, was the one that was following him.
So it looks like Carson Pittman going to win the race off of pit lane. Patrick Ginter going to be right behind him. Bill Hells, Shane Weldon, Robbie Bice out in 5th. Adam Taylor in 6th. But let's see if
you see the drivers coming into turn 1 here. They're definitely going to get past here on corner exit. As you'll see the drivers coming into your shot here in just a moment.
They should be hitting the screen right there.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's Sushi, McCarthy, and Bingaman. All in that 3-car tandem as they're going to come down the back straightaway. But Chris, this is really going to spice things up. Now we got some drivers up here that have had some good pit stops. I mean, this is really going to put this outside lane moving down the back straightaway right here. And Pittman, Ginter and Kip Easley is going to look to jump to that outside lane. If you're Kip Easley, man, you've got to be thinking right now, I want to get back up there and I want to lead this race. Kip seems to have the car that can stay out in the front and lead, which is hard, Chris. You do know that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in these open setup race cars, you can have the fastest race car in the world when you're behind in traffic, but as soon as you poke that nose out, it's like they put a parachute and 2 1,000-pound weights on the rear. It just absolutely hits the deck with its performance. So it's good to see that Kip Easley not only is getting good pushes, but you see him right now, Chris. He's pulling back up on that outside lane, and he's doing it with a vengeance.
He is doing it with a vengeance. As I see Rylan has poked his head in the chat. Good to have you in the chat, Rylan. Miss you, love you, buddy. Whoa, big dive down there from the 32 machine.
But it looks like that outside lane has died down, Chris. Looks like they went from a 4-car to a 3-car train now as Kyler McCarthy is going to jump to the end. Or that's not Kyler McCarthy, excuse me.
That's 25 of Kevin Click on the outside.
I was going to say, I saw just a number.
Is Kip Easley going to be behind Kevin Click? And then you see Briggs Swope behind them. Steve Strittmatter also behind them. But, man, up here in the front, Josh Rasusi has just taken over this lead, and he's trying to hold on to it. the 24 of Kyler McCarthy and Jaden Bigman, all three teammates. So right now, if you're that 81 of Josh Rasucci, you know you have, at least two lifelines behind you. You know you've got somebody that, if you get out of a little, momentum, as you see going around that lap car. As I want to say, that is the 67 of Brian. No, that is not the 67 of Brian Pressler. Whoa, this is going to be weird. Big bump there.
Woo.
If this is where it happens, this is going to be where it happens, Josh.
I was about to say, it's always sketchy.
Especially when lap traffic is involved.
When lap traffic is involved, for sure. There's not a lot of lap cars, is it? Isn't it just that lead car that's the lapper?
It looks like that's the 91. Yeah, the 91 Brody Green.
He's still on the leading lap.
Yeah, he's still.
He is racing for his position, but Talladega is one of those tracks, Chris. You're racing for your position. Those drivers aren't going to be happy with you. They will move you out of the way.
Yeah, and if you're that 81 of Josh Rasucci, you're like, man, just move, just get out of my way, let me go. But
and if you're the 91, you're thinking, please, God, let them wreck behind me.
Yeah, because you're like, man, I just need to get back on that lead lap.
This is pretty much, this could be his race right here. I mean, not saying that it's undoable to come back from a lead lap or down a lead lap, as the lucky dog, but at lap 44 here, Chris, coming up to the halfway point here in the next 4 laps, right now I'm just seeing that these guys are keeping a good calm head. We might go green this whole way if we get lucky.
Yeah, but see the 81 of Josh Rasucci pushing all over the back bumper of Brody Green.
Because it's one of those things, Chris. I mean,
whoa,
Carson Pittman with a big wiggle on that outside lane.
I was going to say Patrick Ginter getting into the back bumper of Carson Pittman. As right now you see that that 3-car tandem up here right now is starting to run away from that pack, Josh. So we're starting to see that these guys behind them aren't too comfortable in this 2-car tandem behind them. Yeah, as I'm hearing, Josh is still having computer issues, so he's trying to get it figured out. But we're going to still stay on this action. Is up here in the front. Everything is still going crazy. We see Carson Pittman on that outside lane. It looks like maybe that inside lane's starting to catch up. Maybe that outside lane will start trying to push the issue here. But I am not liking that lap car being up in the front. Josh Rasucci is trying to just push that issue. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like that lap car. I just don't like, whenever lap traffic gets involved into the lead pack, it can always spell disaster. But hey, like we said, he's racing for position, so he has every right to be in that spot.
So, Chris, I am reading that I could have a non-compatible graphics card issue is what it's saying this green screen is. That's stupid. So, once again, I do crash out of the race. I apologize, but it also might be because my HDMI wasn't plugged in all the way, so maybe we can get this settled, and I can see some racing, man, because I would reset my computer, but I'm not resetting my computer. This is too much action, and I don't want to miss it.
This is starting to get testy.
It's not as testy as it should, we thought it was going to be, but they are starting to get a little bit of pressure on that outside lane.
Yeah, Carson Pittman's got that 5 machine in front of him. We know Ryan Broderick is a lap down, so we saw him pushing all over the back bumper of that 5 maching. But still, speaking of pushing,
Broderick is a lap down. You are correct.
Yeah, speaking
That's what
of,
you were hinting at.
yeah, speaking of Josh, that 81 of Josh Rasucci still pushing all over the back bumper of Brody Green.
But if the 91's right here, you got to be thinking, Chris, this is helping Susie. He's able to save gas. So I mean,
honestly, yeah, I mean, he is a teammate. I mean, that is one of his teammates. So maybe this is a strategy play. I didn't think about that. You
don't put it 2 into 2. We don't got people talking in our ears constantly feeding us this information, so we might not be on top of all the information 24/7. But now that you say that, 100% makes sense, Chris. You're rolling with your teammate. You're saving gas. You're able to still pick up speed when you need to by getting on the back bumper and pushing the snot out of him. I like this from Susie.
So, yeah,
I think this could really set him up for some good late race success, especially with the fuel going on in here.
Yeah, no, like one of the things that I was just thinking here, now that I noticed it, you've got 4 teammates running this front line. Like you said, Susie, he has been all over the back bumper of the 8 machine to Kip easily all night, so he's already saved a little bit of fuel, and they've already come down pit lane. But this goes to show, like, this is a really good teamwork. I'm not gonna lie, this is really good teamwork.
You're telling me that Nitro's running in the top 5 like this, Chris? Come on, man. These guys are wicked fast.
Yeah.
Speaking of wicked fast, Chris, that outside lane and that inside lane completely in shambles right now, as it looks like it's going to get gathered back up. As soon as I said that, thought the excitement was going to happen. The 2 and the 5 jump, but Ken Baum Jr. to the outside now. New leader as we're coming down to the stripe. It's already at the halfway point. We're about to hit lap number 50. Will it be the number 2 or will it be the 81? We'll see that outside lane. We got a lap. Oh, Rick! Colin McCarthy spins the 81. Susie into Ken Baum Jr. Now we got the 25. Kevin Clicker round off of William Brown. 4-car accident, and still no caution, Chris. We are going to roll green. Caution flag is out now.
Oh, yes, it was
just... If you're Josh Susie, you are throwing shadow boxing combos right now at your screen. Man. But he might be a little good. I don't know. He took a big shot in that outside wall, Chris.
Yes, it looks like I'm not getting any markers.
That race car doesn't look too beat up.
I'm not getting any markers, so we're going to go back and just look at it.
There's a bumper laying in the middle of the road.
As I'm on the wrong person here. Let me get down here.
It's saying Ken Baum Jr. is down pit road for me. Oh, yeah, he did wreck. He was the one involved in that wreck. Ding dong.
So we'll see here.
Right here, it looks like you see him unlink. There's the push to the rear quarter panel. It's going to get the 81 around. 81. Oh, man, you hate that for the 81 and the 2. Especially for the 81. Not taking away anything from the 2, but the 81's been up there all night, man, Josh Susie. And Ken Baum Jr., last week's race winner, just now getting that run that he wants. He's been hanging out pretty much in the back all race. Finally gets up here to race in the front. And as soon as he has it happen, it's going to be a clash between the 2 Nitro teammates on the bad link. And it's going to cause an accident here, Chris. Our first caution of the night. Can you believe we're saying that at lap number 50? Mm-hmm. Our first caution popped at lap 50 at Talladega. That's how much these drivers are going out here. Put on a good show. And there it is right there. You see pretty much that line in the back of his livery has given us a pretty much that halfway part. You see way unlinked right there. Pretty much pushing right at that far right taillight sticker. That's the definition of an unlinked push. But, nothing malicious. It's just, it happens. Oh, I didn't even see Kevin Click. Oh, yeah, I did see Kevin Click. He went off the
unfortunate. Well, it looked like off the front there of McCarthy just a little bit, having to check up, trying to get back up on the track. Looks like he might have got into that quarter panel and sent him around. And that's what happened with that 25.
Easily made it through unless he made contact right there with Ginter. Keep playing it right there. And it does look like everybody is down pit road this time, Chris. So we'll hop on that right after this. Let's see if he makes contact with Ginter here as he's trying to come back up the racetrack.
Looks like he's just...
they're really close. Right here. It's going to happen. Nope. They didn't make contact. Oh, that's Briggs Swope. Excuse me. I thought that was Ginter. I just saw a blue race car. And as we're coming down pit road, it looks like we're going to have a bunch of drivers already making their way out.
It looks like, Carson Pittman on his way out.
Going to be your new leader, the number 4 of Carson Pittman.
Bill Hell is up into that second position. Your pole position setter going to be in that second spot. Patrick Ginter going to roll himself out into third spot. Chris Lynn in that 4th position. Lucas Nilge's in 5th. Nick Cannon in 6th. So good to see Lucas Nilge's and Nick Cannon. They've been kind of riding in the back all night. Good to see them up in that 5th and 6th spot. Jaden Bingaman in 7th. Jeremy Zarfos in 8th. Charles Garrick in 9th. Robbie Bice in 10th. Briggs Swope in 11th. Shane Weldon in 12th. Steve Stripmatter 13th. Kip Easley 14th. Matthew Fitz is going to round out your top 15. So it's a lot of drivers that we haven't really been talking about moving their way up into this top 10, top 20. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see how this goes.
Yeah, this is definitely where the race is gonna start unwinding a little bit. Now we've got that nervousness of, did I? Sorry about that. I'm just reading the driver text chat in the bottom. You obviously can't see that, but I can, and it's just funny what. William Brown responded, even though it had nothing to do with William Brown. It just made me giggle. So, but I don't even remember what I was talking about here, Chris. I just saw that driver chat and completely lost my train of thought.
But, well, you were saying that everything's going to start unraveling.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, it's going to be like Christmas morning. Everything's going to start getting ripped open. Presents are going to be going everywhere. Next thing you know, it's going to be a big old mess, and you're going to be the one that gets told to clean it up, and you don't want to do that. So, I mean, If you don't want to clean it up, don't make the mess is all I got to say here. But Chris, this is going to be one of those things. Coming back from this caution, the nervousness is gone. I don't want to be the one that causes the first caution, whatever. Now you know how it usually happens at Talladega. Once that first caution happens, it seems like everybody is like, all right, time to go. Gotta start working now. So looks like Susie will stay on the lead lap though. He will get out of pit road.
Good to see that Nitro 81 make his way out.
I will say for the big shot he took, looks like a little bit of a side skirt gone down there. Other than that, that car looks to be pretty much, unless he lost some revs, we do know taking those front end damages can damage the engine sometimes. So not 100% sure. Body looks good. Or wait, I forget that side skirt piece folds in. I'm such a ding dong dude. I thought he was missing the part of his front side skirt, but I forget that that's how these cars look. It just, years of seeing actual looking stock cars, these cars still can confuse me sometimes. I'm not saying they don't like an actual stock car. Don't hate me.
It looks like Patrick Ginter going to move himself up into the first position. So looks like maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Live timing is weird sometimes.
Yeah, live timing has completely changed. Because
Carson Pittman's showing.
Yeah, Carson Pittman definitely.
Pittman came back down. They came back down.
Oh,
okay. They filled up.
They filled up.
I see him coming off the blend line right now, and I'm thinking, I'm stupid. That's what they're doing. They definitely went back down, topped up. This could be possibly now a race to the finish, Chris. No more stops.
Yeah, they know that that they have it, to make it to the end. But Josh, that old saying, cautions breed cautions. And that's something that we're gonna have to watch out for. Now everybody's gonna be bunched back up. Now everybody's gonna be bumper to bumper. It's gonna be kind of interesting to see how this goes.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is literally the first quote unquote restart we've had since the initial start of the race. So this will be the first time since the drop of the green flag, Chris, that everybody's gonna be bumper to bumper, door to door. But we are going to take this opportunity while we have the cars here coming, getting ready to green. As it goes to the green flag, we are going to get those volumes cranked up, get some beautiful camera shots here on the Full Throttle YouTube page, and we're going to have some awesome crank it up angles coming for you here from Talladega Super Speedway. Me and Chris are going to step away one moment, get those volumes turned up, get the full screen going, and watch some beautiful race cars go around Talladega. This is going to be a Full Throttle crank it up. And we welcome you back from that full throttle performance. Crank it up. As you saw from a couple different perspectives there, as I was kind of being like the camera director, I was going, go here, Chris, go here, go there. I really wanted you guys to see that perspective from some of these drivers being in that middle lane, being in the middle of the pack right there on that inside lane. We saw from Briggs Swope's perspective, we saw from that 51 Strip Matter, we saw a couple quarter panels, just a bunch of different angles to really put into perspective. We even saw that one camera, I'm not sure if you saw it like I saw it, but where it was blinking through the splitter. That's how close these race cars are getting. That one camera was on the nose. It's blipping through the rear bumper. That's how much they're touching. These guys are bumper to bumper, and you see when you're in that passenger seat of Briggs Swope, or you were in the driver's seat of that, I'm not sure exactly which car we were on in the driver's seat, but it puts you into perspective. Looking out that front window with that big old spoiler sticking over the back of these Cup cars, Chris, it is very, very, very hard to see. And I said it during the Turn It Up, that where the fans couldn't hear us, and I said I do not miss this view. I love Talladega, but goodness, being in that 4th, 5th, 6th, anywhere past that 3rd position in any line is horrible. It is not fun.
Yeah, it is not fun at all, as I see a bunch of shuffling around going back here about 10th, 11th, 12th. Jason Hand, Jeremy Zarfos, Briggs Swope, all battling it out back there. Kip Easley, moved himself back up into that 8th spot. I see him on that outside lane. There is a lap car about to come into the picture here.
Is that William Brown?
It looks like that is the 9 of William Brown. It looks like he's just going to go ahead, drop down to the bottom, do the gentleman's thing, just get out of the way.
Looks like he just went into pit road.
Yes, it looks like William Brown did come down pit road, but that inside lane starting to fall apart just a little bit. As I say it, though, looks like they're starting to tuck back up. Oh, as we're 3 wide back here, it looks like the 61 of Don DeGroot, excuse me, we're on camera there.
It was the 26 of Jaden Bingaman.
Yeah, 26 of Jaden Bingaman.
You were close. Whoa, and speaking of Jaden Bingaman, he is just door drafting his way. Big wiggle there. As we might get opened up to 3 wide here once again, but it looks like it's just going to be Zarfos, and he should fall back out. We should get 2 wide racing again. I don't think 3 wide's going to work unless we just get absolute commitment from these drivers. And the field is not necessarily a small field. 28 drivers is big, but if you had those extra 5, 6, 7 drivers, Chris, sometimes it helps those inside-outside lanes form up a little bit more with just a couple numbers. But with it being we'll say a small field for a super speedway, 33 cars, only 29 right now, I think, are actually still racing. No, 30. George Wood's still out on the racetrack, so with 30 cars only racing, and a couple of them not being up there with the lead pack, I mean, you can definitely see what I mean, Chris. You know what I'm talking about. Numbers are important in super speedway racing, and you see that outside lane is just having so much success. Nobody wants to jump to the inside lane. It just doesn't seem like there's enough drivers willing to go down to that inside lane to try to make it work at this point of the race.
Yeah, as you see, Patrick Ginter still trying to battle it out there with that one. Dylan Hastings on that. Oh, do apologize. The one of Dylan Hastings is on that outside lane. Looks like he's going to go ahead and get around that 6 again. The inside lane is just not working out. But, Dylan Hastings does have his teammate behind him pushing him in Steve Stripmatter. So, it's always good to have a teammate back there. And also Don DeGroot is also behind him. So, got a 3-car team up here in that 1st, 3rd, and 5th position. So going to be interesting to see how they work this outside lane and how Patrick Ginter up here all by himself can handle.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see. I know I've said I'm interested to see a lot of things or curious, but it's still baffling me how this inside lane has just not had rarely any success tonight. I mean, they're getting a move here, or a run, I should say, but they're not going to let the move stick, or not make the move stick. It's like they can't make it stick. They're getting there. They're sticking the nose out for a split second, but you see, if that was the end of the race, clearly that inside lane just doesn't have the momentum to push itself, and I don't think we've seen one time the inside lane beat the outside lane to the stripe tonight, Chris. So it's one of those things of, yeah, you can lose it all you want to here in 1 and 2. You can lose the race in 3 and 4, but as long as you get that nose I'm talking a hair follicle in front, you're going to win this race, obviously, but I just haven't seen that inside lane presence. I say that, though. That inside lane is stacking up now big time.
Nick Cannon is definitely pushing that 6 of Patrick Ginter. He is like, all right, man, let's get ready to roll, because I see him all over the back bumper of that 6 machine.
Yeah, but look how little Strip Matter and Hastings have to work together on the outside to just even out that run that they're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, because
It's almost unfair.
and that's what I'm saying.
Like.
It's like that inside lane. It's kind of like the outside lane is kind of like blocking the air off to them. You know, it's like they're not able to keep the momentum up, and that's what it's like. It's kind of boggling. You know, I'm not used to seeing this outside lane so dominant, and
It's almost like it's 2003 again. Chris.
yeah, it's almost like I'm watching a different era of racing, and it's crazy because I remember watching, like you said, back in the older, I'd say older, but 20 years ago, whatever. It's definitely a big step up. Like this outside lane is just kind
I don't
of.
know, Chris. Look at that inside lane though. That's the best they've had a run out of 4. And if Cannon can get to the back bumper, which he will.
This
could be a new leader going off into turn 1 and 2.
As we say it, though.
And there comes Hastings back.
As we say it, that outside lane though just has a lot more momentum.
That outside lane is superly strong.
Oh, but I don't like that step out from strip matter.
Jim on steroids strong. That outside lane is moving, man.
Yeah, I don't like that step out from strip matter. I thought he was about to try to take it to the outside of his teammate, but I know he wasn't going to. But just that little bit of unlinking can slow you up a lot. But now, as I say that unlinking, that 61, that 51 machine is all over the back bumper of Dylan Hastings now.
He is clearing the inside lane. What a tandem run there from the 51 and the 1.
See, and normally,
those guys just had a big run.
And normally, if you were on a super speedway, say like we're racing Talladega and the Xfinity cars, if you were on that outside lane and you made that space up on that 6 machine, you would have dove down to the inside.
The pack is flying up to you as well once you get out just a little bit. It's crazy to see how they're able to pull out from that 2-car tandem just a little bit, and it doesn't feel like they're getting sucked up back to like drastically. You know what I mean? Like the Gen 6 cars, you got that little bit of a gap down the back straightaway. You best hope to goodness that you're not going to get the most massive run coming to your outside.
Also,
jumping to the inside. So I do like how this racing is going. I just really want to see that inside lane have some success.
Let's watch Patrick Ginter going into these corners. If you notice, he's not riding that yellow line all the way down at the bottom.
Could be trying to stay fueled too, and we know these guys were the ones that came in at 51 up here in the lead pack and not 52. Is that the reason I don't think they would be lifting and coasting too much. I don't know, Chris. It's just so hard to tell, especially when you're not, you're not in
bad link.
Oh, that's gonna be trouble. Oh, this is a big one, Chris. No caution still either. Oh, man. That tore up a lot of good race cars, Chris. Skip Beasley, I see, is in that.
Caution is out. Yeah, as I saw Patrick Ginter just get a really bad bump from that 88 machine of Nick Cannon. And I was just saying, bad link. I saw it happen, and as I was trying to say it to you.
You saw it, and I didn't. I did not see it. You're the reason I saw it.
Yeah, if you
just start going, and I was like, wait, what's going on?
If you watch right here, as we're coming out of the tri-oval, right, as we're getting past
right before the start finish, right after one of the two. But yeah, I definitely see it.
Right here.
Looks like the 6 just got not sure what happened.
It looks like the same bump that happened with Susie.
Literally. But it looks like the 6 wobbled up high and then like shot it down low again. I'm not sure what happened there, but definitely it was an unlinked. It was a bad push.
Oh, as you see, strip matter getting taken out. A lot of cars.
It looks like Robbie Bice, Jeremy Zarfos and company with that little group right there would made it by, but man, that just throws a wrench in it, Chris. That's now a couple more good race cars taken down, so it's starting to open up more and more for these drivers that have been hanging out towards the back.
As we're going to ride on board here with Nick Cannon, see it from his point of view. See what happened with this 6 machine. It was a misjudge. I'm telling you, it was a misjudge. Because here, it looks...
I'm not going to lie. You see Gurrick drive towards the yellow line, maybe not on purpose, but like you said, it was a misjudge. Cannon doesn't expect that to happen, I don't think. I really don't. So it was just one of those things. I mean, he could have gotten, a little bit arrow loose from the outside door, or, on that outside door getting sucked as he was going up just a little bit up the tri-oval. I mean, any little bit of movement of air on the race car can cause something like that. So we should see everybody come down pit road, and we will see at least our first couple drivers come down pit road. But it does look like Chris Lynn, Michael Zuver, Jimmy Barr all going to come down pit road. Looks like Robbie Bice, Shane Weldon, and Adam Taylor are your 3 drivers that are going to stay out. Oh, it looks like Gurrick missed his pit stop by just a little bit. He had to back up.
Unfortunate for that 35 of Chad Engel. I know he's had a lot of bad luck these last couple of weeks. We'll see who gets out first. It looks like Lucas Nilge's going to get out first. Nick Cannon going to be right behind him. Dylan Hastings and Charles Gurrick going to make his way out. We'll see if Shane Weldon, Adam Taylor, and Robbie Bice decide to come down pit lane or not, because that was a strange strategy there.
Well, it's going to be 25 laps to go currently, but when we come back, I would assume it's going to be about 23, 22. But so far, this has been a very interesting Talladega race. I got to say, I mean, this has been solid just driving from these guys. 2 cautions with 25 laps to go. I mean, that's very good for a track like Talladega. Could definitely have seen some more accidents tonight, but I think with what's coming up here in the next 25, the accidents might only be beginning. Talladega is one of those tracks that the later the race goes on, the more and more deadly the race can get. So we'll see how these drivers are going to manage here. We'll see how they're going to do. It should be 1 to green this time by, I think. We did pit 2 laps ago, I want to say. Yeah, so should be good on the 1 to green here. And we'll get back to some green flag racing at Talladega, as it did look like the pit roads were closed. So yeah, we should be going back racing here in just one moment. See the 35 right there pulling off, hitting the stop sign at the end of pit road. He has to go to the back of the pack, so just waiting for everybody to get around him. As it looks like waving around the pace car right there was William Brown. The pace car picked him up with that big accident, so he was waved around the pace car. But we got 1 to green here, as the pace lights are off, and this is a completely different top 5. As you'll see, Shane Weldon on that inside lane, the car we are focused on. Adam Taylor in that 2nd position. Adam Taylor did start this race in that 2nd spot. We do know he had that unfortunate unlinked push there with Ryan Broderick that really it really just killed the momentum for that 45. But we'll see. We know that 45 is who won here this real race here this past Saturday. And man, if you're in that 45, if you're Adam Taylor, you're thinking, hey, I got to go for that sweet virtual sweep. The 45 getting in real life, me getting it on the sim, then hey, I bet you that's going to be one happy Tyler Reddick fan if Adam Taylor, if he is a Reddick fan. We know some drivers just get given numbers and they'll run the real life delivery. So if not, I do apologize if you are a Reddick fan. But, you know, that would be pretty cool to see the 45 not only win this past Saturday and get the commentator race where the 45 does excellent again, man. And yeah, I think that livery's got some good luck going into tonight. So far, so good for these drivers, as we will be going 1 to green, or not 1 to green, we'll be going back to green flag racing.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting play here from these Full Throttle Racing guys. Maybe they're expecting another caution. Wondering if that's what they're expecting.
That, or they just could be trying to commit, Chris, saying, hey, we might have the fuel to make it to the end, and let's just hope that if we don't have the fuel, some big wrecks go on behind us where it puts us in a position to win this race. Because if you're Robbie Bice and company, you're thinking, man, I love the position I'm in right now. Even though Robbie started the race up here in 3rd position, he definitely has been hanging out towards the back. So for him to be back up here with pretty much no harm, no foul done to his race car, you got to be in a pretty happy position if you're in that 28. But getting ready to come back up to the Geico restart zone on the track, it'll be Shane Weldon and Adam Taylor, as we'll see him go back to green flag racing here. Boogity, 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 as Michael Waltrip would say. Let's not go wrecking, let's go racing.
Yeah, as it looks
and I meant Darrell Waltrip. I said Michael Waltrip, didn't I?
You did. Let's see if Robbie Bice and co can get up here into that outside lane, because we see the outside lane working. Whoa, Robbie Bice getting a little loose on that inside lane. Nick Cannon all over that back bumper. So let's see how this inside lane starts working out.
And Chris, you know, Robbie, one of his strong suits is these super speedways. Very excited to see if that 28 machine could possibly make a good run here after some of the adversity he's had these
Big
past couple
jump
weeks. But a big move there from Kyler McCarthy, going to jump up in front of the 81 of Josh Susie, his Nitro teammate, as they're going to try to make this outside lane roll here. Is that 45 of Adam Taylor and that 3 of Lucas Nilges really starting to try to make a charge for this lead here, coming out of turn 4, and it might be Adam Taylor here to the lead in just 1 second.
Yeah, not seeing. Whoa, 3 wide back there. Look at that, Josh. The 24, Colin McCarthy on that outside lane.
Oh, yeah, the fun is starting to begin, Chris.
Oh, bumping up against the wall. We are 3 wide going into turns 1 and 2. Let's see how this goes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
That inside lane getting a little bit out of sorts. Cannon going to bump. Big bump coming to Robbie Bice. Oh, that inside lane getting all out of whack. That should help this outside lane pull just a little bit.
Robbie Bice still all over the back bumper. Oh, a little bit of wall contact there from the 27 of David Smill Jr. He's going to keep it rolling. Let's see if oh, man, if you're at that 45 of Adam Taylor, you do not want to be in that middle lane right now.
Ooh, what happened? Did that inside lane just completely die out?
It looks like the middle lane, the middle lane just died.
And Adam Taylor was right there on the outside racing for the lead all the way back to 14th. That just shows you, whoa, it looked like Adam Taylor was about to make contact with somebody. It looks like he is going to say that was Ryan Broderick.
I just want everybody to know that I am currently sitting on the edge of my seat with my hands on my knees. I am literally bent over watching this screen right now. This is intense.
I got the arms crossed, and I'm literally like 2 inches away from my monitor, dude. I'm in full gamer stance.
I am in full gamer stance right now.
Full gamer stance.
If I'm holding an Xbox controller, this is how I'm sitting on the couch. Like, man, this is wild right now. Is that inside lane starting to fall off? You see Robbie Bice starting to fall back. But it looks like, that 00 Jason Hand might try to poke his head down here, try to pull his teammates up, see if they can get that inside lane working.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another driver from the outside lane dive down to the inside from like Nilges up.
Whoa!
Whoa, Carson Pittman forcing the issue on the inside.
Yeah, 3 wide. This is going to be, oh my goodness.
And there goes Zarfos. He's jumping to the inside. So there it is, Chris. Everybody's starting to get all really starting to take those risks. As look who is pulling back up to the field. There's the number 8 machine. That's Kip Beasley. He was just involved in an accident a couple laps ago, and he's going to be rolling himself back up into that outside lane in that 6th position.
Whoa.
Kip Beasley certainly has a race car. Nick Cannon, big move there. I saw it too, Chris. And Kip Beasley, Carson Pittman to the inside. We are racing here now, coming to lap number 76, Chris.
Yeah, Kip Beasley knows that he's got that car to beat. Did not have a lot of contact in that wreck, so it looks like he is still rolling up here in that 2nd position. Rolling his way up into that 1st position now. That 4 machine is really pushing that 8 of Kip Beasley.
Yeah, oh yeah, he is indeed. Kip is throwing that virtual hand up in the window saying, come on, give me the shots. Let's go, baby. I want to get back up here and lead this race. And if you're Kip Beasley, this has got to be one of those bittersweet feelings, knowing that you had the best car out there on the lead run the longest time to get, that unfortunate accident, get pushed to the back.
Into the wall.
Oh, yeah. Outside lane is all into sorts, Chris. That's going to push Lucas Nilges to the lead. And he's going to, or not the lead, but he's going to go to the lead of the inside lane.
So Kip easily going to be all over the back bumper of Lucas Nilges. Man, this is starting to get a little testy here. Everybody's
getting all out of whack. It's getting all out of whack right now.
If you noticed at the beginning of the race, there wasn't moves like this. Now everybody's starting to get a little antsy. They're like, look, man, we've got 19 laps to go. The guy in front of me's slow. I got to go. But Josh, look who's back up in that 2nd position.
I'm about to say, for Susie and Easley, it's definitely been a wild ride for them. These guys have had some fast race cars with a 1 and 2 car for, I think like the first 40 laps. Both got caught up in an accident. Now both rolled their way back up into the top 5. Excellent drive for the 8 and the 81.
Yeah, Josh Susie finished 4th place last week at Texas, so it's going to be one of these things where he's out for a vengeance right now. He really wants to get into that top 3 or get that win.
Yeah, and Kyler McCarthy so far is the leader right now in these last couple laps and doing a pretty good job at it. I mean, he's got couple teammates behind him to really help him, but going back to the inside lane, that would be Gurrick behind that number 8 of Kip Beasley. That inside lane just does not look like it has what it needs to try to get up there in battle right now.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, like we've been saying pretty much the entire race, it just seems like that inside lane just doesn't have the momentum. I mean, it really feels like that once they get down in the inside, like the outside lane is just able to carry the speed more. You know, it might be, I see Charles Gurick, looks like he's going to go to the middle lane. He's going to, looks like Lucas Nilge's going to jump out from behind that 8 of Kip Easley. So, yeah, Kip Easley going to fall all the way back to that 12th position. Just that draft, you lose that draft, and there you go. You just start falling back.
It's a little bit of
a
very hard to merge back in once you've lost your spot, too.
It really is. Right now, we're just kind of watching to see what is going to happen on track. You know, this is going to be where it starts, where everybody starts throwing the cards out the window. You know, everybody was kind of holding on to their equipment, not really wanting to get up here and press the issue. Well, now all of that's done. You've got to press the issue.
It's like two boxers going to the final round, Chris, both even on the scorecard. Everybody's going to be throwing haymakers at this point, trying to finish the fight.
Yeah, as you see the 26 there, Jaden Bingaman, he's going to be on that inside lane. Let's see if everybody's going to be able to get around him. So it looks like they will. He's just going to ride that yellow line. That's going to help that 24 and that 81 start to push away because they have to get off that gas just a little bit to get around that guy. But look at that, Josh. Now that inside lane's led by that 32 of Chris Lynn.
It's funny how this inside lane will get a good running momentum going, and then it's like somebody trips them up. And then they get back up, wipe themselves off, take off running again. Get right there, get tripped up. So we'll see if they're going to be able to possibly take the cake this time with it. That inside lane so far has been like 0 for like 50 million tonight. I mean, they have not really had much success trying to get up here and pass this outside lane. Woo! Roger just put himself in a spot right there. That's going to hang Nilge's out there in the bottom. Or in the middle lane, I should say.
Is right now we're watching this 3-wide battle back here with Nilge's in the middle. It's currently everybody up front is just kind of single filed out. As I say that, it looks like maybe the inside lane is starting to fall off just a little bit. Yeah, it looks like the 4 Carson Pittman and the 28 of Robbie Bice going to take that inside lane. They're going to try to make a little bit of something work here, but you know, as we've seen, that inside lane just not wanting to come together for everybody. But they've got 3 teammates on that inside lane. I want to say maybe 4 if Shane Weldon can get down in there into the mix of it. As I want to say he might be behind that 8 of Kip Easley now. Whoa, is into the wall. David Smill Jr. all up into the wall coming down the back straightaway. He is not affected by that. He's just like, hey, man, I'm giving it a high five. Playing patty cake with the wall. Whoa, it's 3 wide back there. Kip Easley just had a big dive down. It looks like the 53 dove down. Bill Hells dove down to the inside of Kip Easley. So now we're 3 wide back here in that 10th, 11th spot. Oh, this is starting to get crazy. It looks like the inside lane starting to slowly come to fruition. Looks like that 4 Carson Pittman is getting a really good push there from his teammate of Robbie Bice. And then behind him, you've got Jason Hand and Shane Weldon also behind him. So right now, the Full Throttle group is on that inside lane trying to push up into the lead. And it looks like the 4 Carson Pittman got a good drive in there into turn 3.
I was going to say, Chris, this inside lane's kind of like an old storm radio. They're cranking it up enough to get a little bit of information and get it going, but they haven't really gotten that full crank to get all of it out of it. So I think if they really put it down right here like they are, they're applying the pressure, actually sticking it to them like a Band-Aid on that outside lane, they could go up here and possibly. And with somebody like Robbie Bice behind you, Chris, we've drove with Robbie on these super speedways. We know Robbie will push and it won't stop pushing. So we'll see if this will help Carson Pittman, or if this inside lane is just not going to be able to do it, man. I wouldn't be surprised if this inside lane genuinely cannot have any success tonight. But I have seen crazier things, so I wouldn't be the most surprised. But it's just, it feels weird. It doesn't feel right.
I'm not going to lie, though. I'm not liking this 3-lane switching that I'm seeing going down the back straightaway. That also sketches me out. As back there you see, it looks like the 45 of Adam Taylor, the 8 of Kip Easley, and the 3 of Lucas Nilge's all 3 wide, still battling for that 11th, 12th, and 13th position. But up here, still battling for that first position, is that 4 of the 4 Carson Pittman, Robbie Bice, Jason Hand, Shane Weldon, still trying to hold on to that inside lane to Kyler McCarthy, Josh Susie, and David Smill. They just can't get it. They just can't pull them up.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely a difficult task there on that inside lane tonight. I would hate to be an inside lane driver tonight because it is it's not looking too good for you. It's coming around the turn 3 and 4 exit. We'll see who is going to be your leader. Coming to 10 to go this time. Spotter up there, or the flagman up there, giving them the 10 to go sign. 10 to go, driver, 10 to go. Coming to the stripe this time. This is where you put all your marbles on the table, Chris. It's time to go all in.
Yeah, Josh, you are correct. It's time to put everything out on the table. You see the 28 of Robbie Bice pushing all over the back bumper of that 4 of Carson Pittman, but just not able to give him enough momentum to be able to push him up into that lead. As he's just able to hang on to that second position. But Kyler McCarthy has just got the better push.
That middle lane is moving. I just saw them scooting around, and it looks like they're going to get D-linked. Man, I hate that because down the back straightaway, they were picking up some serious momentum, and it's going to help them file back in, though. That far lane is going to start to turn into that second lane as well, so... Big pushing, man. This is going to be... What these guys in this inside lane are going to have to do is they are going to have to go up there and door draft and possibly beat and bang to the finish if they want to win this race.
I was going to point out as earlier on I saw the 6 of Patrick Ginter. It looks like he was coming off of that yellow line a little bit and was trying to ease up onto that second lane and just, do that door draft. I always say just imagine, sticking your hand out and grabbing, onto the door, like where their window net is, just reaching out and grabbing onto that door handle or that door frame. And holding on.
Extra RPM and momentum. I mean,
it's
what it does.
pretty much what you do whenever you draft up there on that door. So it's weird that we haven't seen a lot of door drafting. I'm wondering if these drivers are just a little sketched out by it and don't want to cause a big wreck by trying to door draft. As you see that inside lane is it is completely died off there. They're still there, but it is lost all the momentum that it had.
Yeah, but every time we say that, it seems to pick itself back up. So we'll hold our breath.
Oh, Kip Easley around.
Kip Easley in the wall again. Charles Gurrick. We might stay green here. We should stay green. We're going to throw the caution out. And now this is where it's about to get serious.
Yeah,
You thought we were hyping it up a minute ago thinking it was about this is for real. Remember that boxing match I was saying? Well, these two guys don't like each other, never have liked each other. Both of them made jokes about their moms. This is about to be a serious slobber knocker, Chris. I'm talking no holds barred, tables, ladders, and chairs style match right here. This is going to be a beatdown here at Talladega. I love these kind of finishes, man.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting finish here. As I'm getting word from Ryland that Nick Cannon has a really nice livery, and I'm now seeing as to why Ryland likes it.
Well, we'll have to tell Ryland what the livery really says one day.
Yeah, we'll have to tell him what it really says one day.
Ryland, check your text messages here in a few minutes, buddy. I will send you what that livery says. It'll make the car even better for you.
As we see the 24 of Kyler McCarthy starting to pull up to that back bumper. We're going to go back here and see what happened with Kip Easley and that Charles Gurrick machine. As it looks like I'm not on it. Let's go back here to Charles Gurrick and see just what happened between that 8. As it looks like maybe the 53 might have gotten into the back bumper of him and helped him go around. But we'll see. We'll go on here with Bill Hell's point of view and just see what he saw. Oh, it's actually, I take that back. It was not Bill Hell's. It looked like from that point of view that he might have gotten into the back bumper, but it looks like the 8 of Kip Easley might have actually.
It was definitely off the Gurrick machine, but did Easley go up?
It looks like Easley went up. It looks like Easley went up into Gurrick. Yeah. So from the point of view that I saw it, like the camera too, it looked like Bill Hell's actually sent him around. But from this camera view, you can definitely see, the 8 of Kip Easley just going around off the front of Charles Gurrick. It's unfortunate for that 8 machine and Charles Gurrick. Charles had a really fast car here tonight. As down pit lane, it looks like Brody Green, Don DeGroot, Matthew Fitz, and Charles Gurrick down pit lane. I did see Charles jump back to pits, so I'm going to assume that Charles's night is over And that 76 machine just going to go ahead, take the helmet off, take gloves off, and just say, all right, man, we're done. The unfortunate there for that 76 machine. Had a fast race car. Yeah, it looks like he is currently sitting in the pit lane. Maybe not out of the car just yet. Maybe taking some damage repair. We'll see what that 76 machine does. But like we said, we always see Charles get out there. He gets wrecked, has something happen. I want to say it happened at Richmond or maybe Texas last week. I want to say that 76 machine got wrecked and then just drove his way back up through the field. And I don't even understand how that man did it, but he did it. But here with 6 laps to go, 5 laps once we hit the stripe. This is going to be the race of races. And would I love to see this end in a green white checker? No. I would love to see yes, I would love to see it end in a green white checker. I don't want to see it end in a overtime. That's what I'm trying to say. I would love for it to go straight to the end, but I just have a feeling this ain't over yet.
Oh, it usually is like that, Chris. It's not over until that checkered waves. And we know, we've all seen it. It can happen at Talladega and be massive. Are we on Charles Garrett currently? Okay. I think that was just my live timing. I went local for a second, and when I came back, it was stuck on him. So I think that might have just been where we were at last. But I do see Robbie Bice rolling around here, so I think I'm back on with you, Chris. And speaking of getting back to it, we should be getting back to it here in just one moment. It's gonna be a shootout, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting finish here. This is going to be where all of the strategy really starts to come into play here. What drivers have what saved. That's I mean, if you're Kyler McCarthy, Josh Soucy, David Smith, you know that you've got at least 3 teammates up there with you. You know that you've got help. I'm going to assume that now this is just me. This is how I would play it out. If Soucy has any damage at all, I would say like if he can't keep up with Kyler McCarthy, I would say that 81 machine, hold that inside lane up, let Kyler McCarthy, David Smith work his way up into that top lane and just stay in the top lane. That's what I would do if it was in my position. Like if I had damage and I knew that I wasn't able to hang out in the lead, in that lead car, then I would let my 2 teammates get up in front of me. But that 81 machine has a really fast car, so I wouldn't be surprised if he starts trying to battle it out with his teammates to take that win from him.
Hey, remember that time I pushed you back to the lead after I was a lap down and raced myself back on the lead lap and gave you the win?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to do here at Talladega, Chris. When you got a teammate, sometimes it just feels better to let the teammate win, and then when you're done, all said and done, you think, man, why didn't I try to pass him?
I just want to point something out, though, Josh. Behind him, you have Jeremy Zarfos, Nick Cannon, Lucas Nilges, and then a whole team of full throttle guys behind him.
You are correct. I didn't even notice
Carson Pittman, Robbie Bice, Jason Hand, Bill Hell, Shane Wilton, Daniel Holdcroft. There is nothing but full throttle guys behind them. So if you're in that top 7, you're like, oh, you're sweating bullets right now.
It will be 4 laps to go, Chris. Tighten those belts. Tighten the gloves up. Get up on that wheel, driver, because it is about to be time to go, go, go. As we are about to hit the green flag here in just one moment. It'll be Kyler McCarthy, Josh Soucy, 2 Nitro drivers hitting the green flag. What a restart from David Smith Jr. That's the best the inside lane's done all night, Chris. Instantly, Kyler McCarthy going to go to the bottom, but he's going to go right back to the top to his teammates. Realizes that Nilges and that Jason Hand machine just not currently linked up like that 27 and 81 is. But you do know on these restarts, Chris, when you're starting to get the speed back up, that inside lane can catch back up pretty easily. We'll see how this inside lane does. We got a lot of waggling already, and we're not even back up to full speed as we come down the back straightaway. What could be on our final restart tonight? Don't hold your breath on that one, though, as we're going to go 3 wide already.
Oh, there we go.
Is Carson Pittman around into Jason Hand. That's going to collect Robbie Bice. Caution will be out. Oh, Robbie Bice didn't get collected. I did see him start making contact. But it looks like so far, Chris, only 1 or 2 drivers possibly involved in that. That looked like it was about to be a lot worse. Definitely saw the
Yeah.
81 go around there, though. Who was that he went off of again?
Yeah,
Carson Pittman?
looks like yeah,
I
it
think I'm
was.
getting, yeah, it was Carson Pittman, yeah. Oh, Robbie Bice giving him a shove right there off in the corner. Did that push Carson off into the corner a little bit harder than he wanted to, or did Susie drive down? I mean, Susie's already over his lane. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to put the fellow blame on my fellow Josh there. I think it was just one of those things going with his line, and when he went to go follow them down in there, thought he was just clear of that 4 machine and just got that quarter panel on there. It's one of those misjudgings. If you don't have a live spotter, sometimes you think you're going to be clear right at that split second, judging it from your mirror fob or whatever it may be. I think Susie just underestimated where he was at on the track there with his car just a little bit. I mean, he was just barely about to be clear, because you see that 24, 27 also driving it down to that middle lane. 81 thought he was going to be able to go with them, but Carson Pittman was just already there. We'll see. Was it netcode?
I mean, it looks
Yeah.
like
I don't even really think the 81 drove it down on top of him too hard. That's just what happens going for it there at the end, Chris.
it looks like he might have checked up. It looks like the 81 might have checked up a little bit there. I'm not gonna go pointing the fingers, but I'm just gonna say that I think right here that Carson Pittman had a massive shot from Robbie Bice.
He was getting pushed from Mommy.
And like I said, it just looks like the 81 might have checked up here just a little bit. Like, if you just
there's nothing wrong with what the 81 or anybody's doing. Just going for it at the end. That's what happens at these Super Speedway races. But like we were saying earlier, it's one of those things of you can forget the last 92, 93 laps. It all comes down to this, man. And you see on that first restart here, or I say first restart, but one of our last restarts of the night, could be one of the most important for some of these drivers. I mean, that could have just killed some nights here.
Yeah, unfortunate there for that 81 machine just going around off of the front of Carson Pittman. But, like I always say, man, that's just, it's, you're going for that same real estate. I wouldn't say that anybody did anything nefarious, it wasn't anything. Yeah, it wasn't anything, like, it wasn't Carson trying to go up there and wreck anybody. That was just one of those things that you were in a position.
Tried shooting the gap, man. He thought he had it. And if I'm not gonna lie, if I was in that situation, I'd have done the same thing. Because imagine if Susie gets hung out there, Chris. He's on the top lane completely by himself. His race is virtually over at that point. So I think it was one of those. It was a calculated risk. He knew he had to do it. He knew he had to go for it. He tried it. He failed. And what else can you really do about it, man? I mean, it's super speedway racing. You hate for it to happen to a fast driver like that, but at the same time, you can't help it. You just kind of got to say it is what it is,
As we saw Robbie Bice
they changed it to 1 lap to green. We're getting the green flag here. We're going to get a natural green, white checkered. I just realized that. What a bunch of nice fellas up there. Matthew Fitz changing the caution lap to 1 to green.
This is going to be fun now. Nick Cannon and Lucas Nilge's behind or on that outside lane. Kyler McCarthy, David Smill Jr. on that inside lane. Robbie Bice and Jason Hand behind them. This is where
think we make it back to the white flag.
Yeah. I think
we make it back to the white flag, but I think we're going to get our accident in 1 or 2 or bound the back straightaway. That seems like where everybody's been getting super testy tonight.
Just want to say, though, good drive from all these drivers tonight. This has been one hell of a race. Green flag is out.
It looks like that Jeremy Zarfos was saying just going to drop to the apron.
Yeah, it looks like he has a lot of damage on the front end of that car. Just going to go ahead and opt to drop down to that bottom lane, let everybody get past him.
It doesn't look like either lane really got an advantage there besides Kyler McCarthy. I mean, he pulled out in that inside lane. It's virtually
this could be bad. Nick Cannon is all over the back bumper.
Nick Cannon is shoving David Smill Jr.
This is one of those things.
What you can do about it? What you can do about it? I mean, this is what you got to do, Chris. We'll see if Cannon shoots to the inside. Oh, man. He is still pushing. Still pushing. 27 still blocking. There goes Nick Cannon to the inside. White flag will be out this time. Will they make it to the white flag?
They're door banging. They're door banging.
Banging. Cannon wrecking. They're not going to make it back to the white flag. Oh, the white flag's out. No, they made it back to the white flag. This race is official. They're not going to throw the caution, Chris. We're going to let them race back. Is Kyler McCarthy all alone? Oh my goodness, this could be bad for him. This could be bad for him. He's only at 167, but nah, never mind. Nobody else is going to be linked up.
It looks like the checkered flag is out.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah,
it's not
the checker.
showing.
Yeah, the checkered flag is out.
Do apologize about that. I was thinking, man, we're still racing here, but I realized we're on lap 95. I'm such a goober. Man, I was so excited right there, Chris. I was thinking we were going another lap, man. Yeah, that should be your official standings. We don't have unofficial standings. When live timing hits the checkered, it is correct. So
yeah,
that
looks like
should be.
Kyler McCarthy, Lucas Nilges, and Chris Lynn will be your 1, 2, and 3. But Kyler
Good
McCarthy.
Run from Chris Lynn.
Yeah.
Doesn't Chris Lynn have massive amounts of damage?
I want to say Chris Lynn had massive amounts of damage. As you see the burnout there from that 24, Kyler McCarthy, good finish there. That was an amazing race.
Burning that down, Chris. I just got to say, excellent race from these guys. What an awesome finish. I mean, it could have went a little bit better there possibly for, the whole field, but Kyler McCarthy and the Nitro Company, I bet you they're loving that. Oh, it was the 35 who was missing his front bumper, actually. I don't think the 32 was the one missing his front bumper earlier.
Okay.
Could be mistaken, though. Could be mistaken. As if you want to get the results up on the board, Chris, we'll get through your official results here. As Kyler McCarthy, the driver, doing them donuts right now, that will be your race winner here tonight. Lucas Nilges going to finish in that second spot with Chris Lynn going to be finishing here third. Carson Pittman in that fourth position with Shane Weldon Sr. in fifth. Bill Hayes in sixth with Robbie Bice finishing seventh. Daniel Holdcraft's going to finish eighth with Jason Hand ninth. Adam Taylor 10th. Kip Easley 11th with Dylan Hastings 12th. Brody Green 13th. Briggs Swope 14th. Ryan Broderick 15th. Brian Pressler 16th. Matthew Fitz 17th. Jimmy Barr 18th. Nick Cannon 19th. Don DeGroot rounding out that top 20. David Smith Jr. 21st. Jeremy Zarfos 22nd. Joshua Susi 23rd. George Wood going to finish 24th here tonight. Chad Engel 25th. Charles Gurick 26th with Michael Zuber 27th. William Brown 28th. Jaden Bingaman 29th. Ken Baum Jr. 30th. 31st going to go to Streve Strip Matter. And rounding out your field in 32nd and 33rd will be Patrick Ginter and Kevin Click. And speaking of that perfect timing, he just blew up his engine. So Kyler McCarthy going to park it directly right there on the start-finish line. And he's going to get that steering wheel out and start waving at the crowd virtually here. But Chris, it looks like we do have two of our three drivers. Should we go ahead and pull up Chris Lynn and have a word with our third place finisher? All right, we'll go ahead and bring in Chris Lynn, that third place finisher. Have a word with him. Chris Lynn, Chris and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir. How you fellas doing?
Doing good, man. I got to ask you, though, how are you doing? 21st starting position here tonight in that 32 Ford Mustang. After all the chaos, everything, going to come home third here. Chris, take us through those final restarts, man, there. I know it's got to be just absolutely exhilarating when you're getting up there, coming from that 21st position, going, all right, this is it. We're getting a good spot here after just hanging out kind of all night. Take us through those last couple of restarts, and, man, how'd the car feel coming home third tonight?
Oh, for sure. It's a wild night. Kind of drove up early, wanted to get to the front, and, I was in fourth there and made a move, and it shuffled me back, and those last few cautions, I kind of thought I was dead in the water, running 13th, and then that one-lap shootout, we'll take it. I mean, they all crashed. It kind of sucks, but we'll take third.
Do know that it, those crashes do kind of, when you finish in third, like, man, if I'd have gotten third in the full field, would have been there. Hey, awesome. But hey, like you said, Chris, we take them where we can get them. Those are one of those things, man. I love getting the wreck finishes, especially when you've been having a bad night. It can definitely help boost that momentum. But Chris, I just wanted to ask you here again tonight too. With all that beating and banging going on there at the end, did you really expect yourself to come up here and finish in that third after falling back there?
I was just happy. No, I was just happy to get to the finish unscathed. Restarting eighth there with a one-lap shootout. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I'll take third, one piece. A few more things go right. Probably gonna get a win if they just all wrecked.
Oh yeah.
But we'll take it. I know I was content with eighth there, and we did that one-lap shootout and gained us 5 more points. So
I was about to say, isn't it always nice when you're like, hey, I'm having a good night rolling eighth, and then the white flag hits, the next thing you know, you're in third place. And you're like, oh shoot.
went from okay to better, right? So
Heck yeah, man.
it's good stuff.
But sorry, what was that?
I was gonna say, go ahead. Like
Oh yeah,
I,
no, no,
I,
no, no. You're good, bro. I was just gonna say, Chris, if you have any final words, thoughts, shout outs, anything before we let you get out of here, you're more than welcome to get out there, buddy. We'll let you get on and celebrate what you thought was gonna be an eighth, but ended up being a podium.
sure. Just want to thank you guys and Robbie and all those guys for putting this on and putting this broadcast on, and my team, and obviously Turn Two Tables podcast and Jeremy Zarfos photography. Um, Makes it fun to come in here every night.
Like, yeah, man. Well, you guys make it a blast for us to come in here tonight. We love having a word with all of our drivers. Chris, again, congratulations, man. Starting 21st, rolling 8th there, coming to the white flag and finishing 3rd. It's been a hell of a ride from you here tonight, and we're excited to hopefully speak with you next week. And congratulations on that 3rd place, buddy, and have a good rest of your week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And that was Chris Lynn from Turn 2 Terribles in that 3rd position. We're going to go ahead and bring up Lucas Nilges and have a word with our 2nd place finisher. Lucas, Nilges, Chris, and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, the number 3 machine was hanging out there all night, Lucas. You started 9th here, and you rolled pretty much in that middle pack right there in the lead pack, just kind of chilling, biding your time. But it seemed like as the race was going, it was just getting more and more difficult to really make that pass. Or did you guys feel like you might have had the car if, everyone was linking up a little bit more? Or do you think 2nd place here is a pretty good night for you guys?
Honestly, I feel like we should have had a 1-2 with Nick getting the win, but I had a bad restart, so I wasn't up on his rear bumper. But I think passing, you had to commit to the outside and force anybody that was up there to go lower because you couldn't get anything going if you're on the inside. So unfortunately, I couldn't get Nick a push because I had a car to my inside coming out 4, but I guess I'll take a P2, but I'd rather have him up here with me getting the win.
No, I for sure feel you on that one, Lucas. It was definitely one of those things that it seemed like you guys were one of the only teams that were fully committing to that inside lane there. So, was it just like I'm trying to really put it into perspective? It's been a minute since we drove these cars, me and Chris here on the platform. So, was it just not really feeling like you were getting that suck like you used to, or is it just what was really making that inside lane stall out there?
Honestly, I don't really have too much experience on that, but
Okay.
for like, it's weird because the outside line, it wasn't like they were close to the inside to do any side draft to kill the line. It's just, for whatever reason, that outside, it just seemed like inside had a lot of checkups, so the outside line was able to keep the momentum. They were able to keep it a little bit smoother. I mean, there's still checkups, but I think it was just probably the inside line just had too many checkups, and that's just what it was just circumstance that we ended up at the inside several times because we really didn't want to be there. But when we did have the opportunity to go the outside, just unfortunately things didn't play out to work that way for us.
Okay, well, yeah, we were saying it just seemed weird that inside lane just did not seem to be working tonight, but unfortunate, man. You hate to see it for your teammates, but Lucas, love to have a word with you, man. But hey, if you've got any final thoughts, shout outs, anything else you want to get off your mind before we let you go, you're more than welcome to throw it out there. We'll let you get out there, celebrate that 2nd, and get working towards next week.
Just want to shout out the boys at TSUR with Nick, Fitz, Zuber, Will, Charles. Just hopefully we can finally get the string of good luck going for all of us and head on Dover next week.
Heck yeah, man. Excited to see you guys at Dover. Lucas, again, congratulations here tonight, buddy, and enjoy the rest of your week, and congratulations on that 2nd place.
Thanks, you too.
Right, thank you, buddy. All right, going to go ahead and bring up our race winner, Kyler McCarthy. Going to have a word with that Nitro Racer, see what he's got to say about his race victory here tonight. Kyler McCarthy, Chris, and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Loud and clear, boys.
Man, Kyler, it was an absolute show from you Nitro drivers out there tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever position y'all ran consistently all night. And for a while, it was the lead of the race, pretty much the whole thing. Kyler, take us through what it felt like in your race car to get up there and run that outside lane all night. It seemed like that outside lane was just so successful there tonight with you guys in Nitro. Was it something with the setup, or were you guys just really, really banging out the tandem driving there and really just sticking it to that inside lane?
So it was definitely the set. We did make a slight adjustment there in practice, running a couple laps there during practice and kind of figuring out a couple different things. We did figure out that middle was key, but with the adjustment that we made, it really made it even better to where we can control that middle lane. But just can't brag about these guys enough at Nitro Set. And first and foremost, before I say anything at all, this goes out to Russ and his wife Tanya. Russ lost his wife last week due to cancer, so let me first and foremost dedicate to this to him and everything that he's done for myself, Susie, Smeal, Tyler Isley, Jaden, all of us here at Nitro as a team and the setup shop. Um, Russ, our thoughts are with you as you continue to recover in your loss, man.
Man, that's awesome. We hate to hear that about what happened, but it's awesome that you shout him out like that, buddy. It's you always hate it when someone like that close to family has something happen. But man, Kyler, just wanted to ask you one more thing. When you guys were coming to that checkered flag, or excuse me, the white flag, more or less, did you guys feel like you had any type of adversity from that inside lane pretty much at all, or was it just one of those things that just seemed like with the setup, with the outside lane working so good that you thought, from the start, did you pretty much know, oh, we got this one in the bag as soon as you realized these cars are wicked fast?
I mean, I knew we were fast, but obviously numbers comes into a play. So I told Smeal, I said we've got to get to that mid where we can control and where our setup is key. So getting a good start and where we could control that middle lane was key. So us getting up there and being able to control that middle lane and Smeal side drafting and doing everything that we had to do as a team and everything was absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to Smeal, Susie. Susie, I'm sorry, man, for getting into you when that stuff happened in the tri-oval. But like I said, these sets, man, if y'all don't have them, y'all really need to go get them.
I was about to say, man, every week you guys are putting on a show, and every time I hear it's always the Nitro setups. Hey, we're gonna have to get somebody out here to start signing some contracts to get you guys signed up somewhere, man. Y'all got some wicked fast setups. So, but Kyler, again, thank you for coming up here in the booth with us, buddy. If you've got any final words, thoughts, shout outs, anything before we let you get out of here, we'll let you go and get you prepared up for Dover, and hopefully be talking to you guys again next week.
Yeah, just again, shout out to Russ, Clayton, Tanya. Like I said, our thoughts and prayers are with Russ and his entire family. Um, Susie, Jaden, Tyler. Unfortunately, Tyler couldn't be here tonight. All my friends watching, Carrie, um, Jennifer, AJ, everybody that tuned in tonight. Like I said, everybody at Nitro. Just looking forward to going to Dover next week and trying to get back-to-back wins.
Well, Kyler, man, it's been an awesome, awesome pleasure watching you guys up at the Nitro team race once again, seeing yourself get up there into victory lane. And hey, got to say, once again, just an outstanding night from all you guys and yourself. But we're excited to see what you got coming for us for Dover. And we'll let you go get out of here, celebrate that win, buddy. So again, congratulations, and see you next week, sir.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good night. And again, thank y'all for broadcasting, and we will see y'all next week.
You too,
No
man.
problem. Thank you, sir. Have a great night. And that was Kyler McCarthy, our race winner. Man, oh man, what a spirited drive from all these drivers tonight, Chris. Absolutely outstanding race. Do you have any final words before we get out of virtual Talladega, Alabama, and get ready to go to Dover next week?
Yeah, it's just big shout out to Robbie, Full Throttle guys, for letting us come back and do this. We've had a lot of fun. I know it's y'all can sit and say, oh, it's just a bunch of dudes screaming at a screen, but hey, y'all don't realize, man, y'all guys make this fun. Like this is honestly the most fun that I have, and I look forward to my Wednesday nights every week because I get to come in here and watch these awesome races. But again, big shout out to Robbie and Fitz and so many names, all the guys that make all of this work and give us the opportunity to do this. All the guys that race, all the families that watch out on the YouTube, all the people that are collectively together here to make us, to give us the opportunity to do this. So, other than that, I can't wait till next week at Dover because man, Dover is a mean lady, and I can't wait to see her.
And they don't call it the Monster Mile for no reason, Chris. It will reach out, grab you, and destroy every hope and dream you have of running good there that night. But we are so grateful, so thankful for all you fans out there. Thank you again once to the Full Throttle Performance Cup Series guys, Robbie and everyone that makes this happen. Like you were saying, Chris, it's one of those things of everybody thanks us sometimes and says, man, you guys had whatever to the booth. We love watching this. We love watching that. But if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a show to talk about. So thank you to the drivers, every single one of them. If you didn't even show up tonight, if you've been showing up and just couldn't make it tonight and you're watching, Thank you so much. Big shout out to my boy Rylan. I know he's constantly helping us with sound on our end, so got to thank Rylan. And hey, other than that, this has been Chris and Josh up here in the Full Throttle booth saying thank you, thank you, thank you very much for all the continued support. We'll be seeing you next week at Dover, and hopefully it'll be just as good of a race as this one. But other than that, good night and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll be seeing you Wednesday.